Hello everyone, we are Valentina Cárdenas and Valentina Seguel, and we will present the final assignment of the course Discourse Analysis, which covers text types and functions.
The main aim of this final assignment is to evidence our knowledge of the different text types or genres. There are 5 different types of text: argumentative, descriptive, instructive, expository, and narrative, along with their respective characteristics, scaffolding, and syntactical features. To achieve this, we will analyze 2 different types of text, with their most common recurrence rules, progression, and connectivity patterns. The chosen text for the analysis are "Go behind the scenes of Apple's first iPhone release," and it will be analyzed as a narrative text. And the second one is Klimt's Lady with a Fan, the painting that sold for £85.3 million, and it will be analyzed as a descriptive text.
The text Go Behind the Scenes of Apple's first iPhone release was written by Lev Grossman and published in 2007 by Time magazine. The genre of this text is narrative and the function is to tell a story. In the case of this text, the function is to tell the story of how the first iPhone was developed. The characteristics of a narrative text are: there is a sequence of events and time, it can be fictional or non-fictional, and the narrator can be in first person or third person. The narrative scaffold of the text is the following. It has an orientation, complication, sequence of events, resolution, and a coda, which can be optional. The orientation of the text. Who's in the story? The characters are Steve Jobs and the Apple team. When, where is it happening? The text was published in 2007, so it happened 16 years ago in the United States. What's going on? The author is explaining the thought process and creation of the first iPhone. The complication. Cell phones are hard to use and most people don't like their phones. This can be found in the third paragraph of the text. Sequence of events. The events go through chronological order, from the first time it was thought to the development of it. The highlighted parts are the most important parts of the thought process of the first phone. And it is important to mention that while the resolution would be that they create and release the iPhone to the world, the first iPhone was released on June 29 of 2007. Therefore, we do not have immediate resolution in this narrative text, but we do have a coda, and the author of the text gives a final reflection on the upcoming release of this phone and the way we use technology in our lives. The grammatical features present in narrative text are dynamic verbs, nouns to identify characters, adjectives to describe characters, and elements to connect, such as adverbs or adverbial clauses. We must mention that sometimes some of the grammatical features may not appear. This is an extract of the text in which some grammatical features are present. The dynamic verbs are highlighted in green, the nouns are in blue, the adjectives are in light blue, and the elements to connect are in purple. Recurrence rules is the presence of elements that give coherence and cohesion to the text. First, we have the presence of repetition, which is the reappearance of an element in different places of the text. We can see this with the appearance of Jobs throughout the text. Then we have the anaphoric procedure of pronominalization, which is the use of a pronoun to refer to an antecedent. We can see this with Jobs being replaced by he and Apple engineers by they. The progression pattern is the way we add new information to the text. The information is represented by theme, what is the clause about, and rime, the information added. In this text, the most predominant progression pattern is zigzag thematic progression, because, as we see in the example, the rime of the first clause, technology, becomes the theme of the second clause, tech, and the rime of that clause, a billion of cell phones, becomes the rime of the following clause, break off just 1% of that. Finally, we have connectivity rules, and they are the relationships between pieces of information. In these rules, we have relations, which are the grammatical features of the text, like adjective plus preposition, such as unfortunate for in paragraph 2, or verb plus prepositional object, such as squint at in paragraph 3. Then we have explicit connections, which are explicit relationships between sentences. Here we have so in paragraph 1, which is a coordinator that illustrates result. And we also have the coordinator and in paragraph 2, which illustrates addition.
The second chosen text is called Klimt's Lady with a Fan, the painting that sold for £85.3 million, published by the BBC UK. And it fits the main characteristics of descriptive texts, which is to provide descriptions and information about a certain topic. First, the text provides information about the artist and the story behind the painting. Then, the journalist also provides an exhaustive description of the composition of the painting, which is mainly technical but with the predominance of a more artistic language. The most common grammatical features presented in the text are adjectives, such as enchanting, interweaving, mingled, and unheeded. There's also a noun complementation, which is a defining relative clause, where that is a relative pronoun and the antecedent of the sentence is audacious glitter of gold leaf. The descriptive scaffolding of the text is composed by a general opening statement in the first paragraph that talks about the Austrian painter Gustav Klimt. It also introduces the main topic of the text, but it is a rather less famous work, and it is referring to the painting. It also answers to questions about when, where, who, and what, all related to the main topic. Then we have a series of paragraphs about the subject, with the topic sentence of each paragraph giving details about the topic, and a concluding paragraph that closes the idea. Now we will check the most common recurrence rules that appeared through the text. First, repetition. Repetition is when an element reappears in the same form in different places in the text. As an example, lady with a fan. A different type of recurrence rules is pronominalization, which is the use of pronouns and determiners to refer to a given antecedent, and it is used to avoid repetition. Then we have nominalization, that is the use of nouns that are created from adjectives or verbs. Here we have entranced, and then we have entrancement. Finally, we have co-reference, that is the use of two linguistic expressions to refer to an element previously mentioned. In this example, we have Gustav Klimt with a genitive case, then we have the artist, and then we have the Austrian symbolic painter. Now we will analyze the most common progression pattern in the text, which is a constant thematic progression. This means that the theme is maintained throughout the paragraph, and we just add new information about it. Now we will check the connectivity rules. These are used to connect grammatical elements within a text. We have two different types, relations and connections, that can be implicit and explicit. First, we have relations that are related to grammatical features in the text. In this example, we have adverb plus adjective. First, carefully choreographed, and second, exquisitely enchanting. Secondly, we have connections. These connections can be implicit or explicit. Implicit connections refer to the punctuation marks, and explicit connections refer to connectors, such as conjunctions, adverbs, coordinators, or subordinators. In these examples, we have different coordinators. For instance, we have for, which is expressing a cause. Also, we have and, which is expressing an addition. Then we have and, which is expressing an addition again. And finally, we have or, which is expressing an alternative or possibility.
To summarize, it's important to highlight that a text can possess characteristics of more than one genre at the same time. However, one will always stand out among the others.